Joining me now, NBC's Jay Gray in Los Angeles, the host of the Bulwark podcast, former communications director for Jeb Bush's 2016 presidential campaign, and MSNBC political analyst. That's Tim Miller. And Donell Harvin, the former chief of Homeland Security and Intelligence for Washington, D.C. Jay, we're going to start with you. Downtown L.A. has been declared an unlawful assembly area by the LAPD. So what's it like on the ground there right now?
Well, Ali, uneasy tension, as you might imagine, a knowing concern after what's been a weekend of violence on the streets here. As you can see, sections of Los Angeles are locked down, especially near the federal complex here. And many of the streets littered with burned out cars, as well as debris, broken glass from that violence over the last several days here. Protesters clashing with both police and National Guard troops that have been deployed by President Trump. Look, the clashes between law enforcement and thousands of protesters has really been centered on a demand for the end of these sweeping immigration roundups, if you will. We know at this point that dozens have been arrested in all of this. We expect today to hear from some of the family members of those who are being detained at this point. The Department of Homeland Security, in a press release, is now saying that agents are arresting, and these are their words, the worst of the worst here. And I'm quoting again when they say that Governor Newsom, as well as Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, quote, care more about murderers and sex offenders than they do about protecting their own citizens. We also know that 500 Marines at Camp Pendleton in San Diego are ready to be deployed. Not active at this point, but the White House says they will call on them if necessary. There seems to be no back down here on the streets, as well as politically, between the governor of this state and the White House. Ali?
Jay Gray on the ground for us in L.A. Thank you. And Tim, of course, a long history between Newsom and the governor in California. The president posting 5 times on social media overnight about the L.A. protests, including saying this: looking really bad in L.A., bring in the troops. Governor Newsom says, of course, Trump is escalating the situation. But does Trump benefit from doing just that, this situation potentially becoming more inflamed?
I think he thinks he benefits, for sure. There was a Wall Street Journal editorial this morning saying essentially that, what do you expect beside protests if you're going to send in people, to shake down Home Depot clerks and dishwashers at restaurants? Like, eventually people are going to get upset about that and push back, and there are going to be protests that could get out of control. And I think that was a correct insight from the Journal, but I think they missed the notion that that's what the administration wants, I think, is for things to get out of control. They see it as a political benefit. Trump wanted, going back to his first term, to be able to be more aggressive about calling in the National Guard and calling in military to do domestic crackdowns on protesters. At that time, there were more people in the White House that were pushing back on him than there are now. And so I do think it's that situation. And I think you see this tension in the statement that was just read from the White House, about how they are trying to frame this as, oh, we're going after the worst of the worst. We are going after murderers and sex offenders, and Gavin Newsom wants to defend them, when in reality what they're doing is going after immigrants and then using it as a pretense to go after the protesters.
Yeah, and you talk a little bit about the genesis there of people seeing ICE raids being done at other places in their community, and those communities starting to protest because of that. Donell, how significant of a step is it, though, for Trump to call the National Guard, not just without, but against Governor Newsom's request?
Well, the last time we'd seen this is during the civil rights era. I wasn't alive. It was in the 60s. Yeah. We have a system of federalism. We have a system where the National Guard can be deployed under Title 32 under the auspices of the governor, or under Title 10 under the auspices of the president. In my career, I've never seen this before, but I think we need to take a step back. These National Guard troops, these 2,000 National Guard troops, were not needed. I was on the phone with officials from Los Angeles yesterday, and they weren't needed. Los Angeles has a robust mutual aid agreement with local jurisdictions and other states. The state of California alone has 80,000 law enforcement. And so this was not needed from a tactical, strategic standpoint, and it speaks to politics.
It speaks to politics. And Tim, you also tugged on this thread a little bit earlier, the idea that this is something that we've seen shades of from the president before. I think, for example, of his first term in 2020 during the rioting and the protesting that we saw around the George Floyd movement, and that entire summer, the way that he leveraged troops, for example, in Lafayette Square Park. So in some way, do you think this is the fight that Trump has been waiting for? A showdown, not just in California, a deep blue state, but with a well-known political rival in Gavin Newsom over an issue that this administration feels is a winner for them, immigration.
Look, I think it's certainly something that they want. I mean, you have to notice that the ICE raids are not happening at Donald Trump's golf courses are in deep red parts of the country, right? Like these raids are happening in a lot of blue cities. It's been happening for a while in Chicago and other places, and LA is the place where it has kind of exploded onto the streets here. And I just think that, all you have to do is read a social media feed, and you played some of those bleats from earlier. Like this is a person who seems very excited to be able to send in the troops, right? It is not somebody that is, trying to be measured and wait to see how things play out. And if things really do get out of hand in LA, maybe, you have to call in the guard. Like that's not what's happening. And they called in the guard before there were any, before they needed to. And so, I think that shows just how much they want this fight in the White House.
Yeah, making this a seminal moment in their efforts on immigration. Danelle, Senator Amy Klobuchar said over the weekend that it's quite ironic, in her words, that Trump is calling these protesters insurrectionists and bringing in the National Guard to protect police officers from them, since he's, of course, the same person who resisted doing that on January 6th when his supporters stormed the Capitol. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll steal a Star Wars analogy. This is the biggest Jedi mind trick we've seen in over a decade. The language that the administration is using about not spitting in police officers' faces or throwing rocks at them is exactly what I saw with my own eyes on January 6th. And those individuals are all released because that was a day of love. Listen, I think we're playing checkers and the administration's playing chess. We need to kind of pull back the aperture here. The Trump administration has decided that they need a deportation force of 20,000 individuals. They don't have that. This is a presidential directive. And I think what you're seeing right now from a strategic standpoint is a National Guard on the ground, not just for the scenes that you're showing right now, but I think they will be involved, like they are in Texas, with some of these deportation operations. So this is a cautionary tale for other states and other cities. This is not going away. This is the beginning, opening salvo of what a mass deportation operation looks like in our country.
I think that's right. And Tim, it brings us to what the reaction has been, and it's largely broken down along party lines. Surprise, surprise there. But Secretary Hegseth had said that active duty Marines could be deployed to Los Angeles if needed. We know we've been tracking that. But then I want to play for you some of what Speaker Johnson said about this larger effort in LA and what we're seeing on the ground. Watch.
Could we really see active duty Marines on the streets of Los Angeles?
One of our core principles is maintaining peace through strength. We do that on foreign affairs and domestic affairs as well. I don't think that's heavy-handed. I think that's an important signal.
You don't think sending the Marines into the streets of an American city is heavy-handed?
We have to be prepared to do what is necessary, and I think the notice that might happen might have the deterrent effect.
So obviously there, the speaker fully backing up whatever the administration might do here, despite how much of an escalation, and you heard John Karl there trying to hammer that point home, putting active duty Marines on the streets of LA would actually be. But is there a point where Trump and his administration could go too far for Republicans? I mean, we've heard stories from voters already, Tim, saying, yeah, I did vote for more immigration enforcement, but not this. I mean, is there a chance here that that's what people see in LA?
I don't know about that, Allie. I think this is a big difference between now and 2020, right? Which we referenced earlier. If you look back at that pushback against some of Trump's rhetoric, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, from some within the party, from some within his own administration, right? I mean, you had Mark Esper pushing back on him, Mark Milley, Mitt Romney in the Senate. All of these folks are gone, basically, right? And so I think the Republican Party is pretty much in line with him. You have seen some Democrats obviously speak out against the violent elements of the protesters. But beyond that, I think that, like you said, this is going to be pretty partisan, and I'm not sure he can go too far.